Hey guys, it's Justin again with another review. This is the 1 to 12 scale full action plastic RAcaseal Whitill version Phantasy. This is from Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst episode 4. I believe this is the cast type character. It's been a really long time since I played Phantasy Star, so you're going to have to forgive me if I'm wrong. This kit was really neat. I got it in the Kotobukiya box bundle. I was going to give it to my girlfriend to build, but I wound up building it myself. She wasn't really too crazy about it. So I snapped it all together. And that's that. So she's molded in a variety of colors. I think during the unboxing I mentioned there being white. This is actually a really soft pink. It didn't become evident to me until I was sitting at my workbench finishing her up the other day that this isn't white. So she's molded in a very light pink. So all this is pink. There's some tan, there's some blue, there's black, and then there's some other colors. But for those of you who, I don't know, adventure a little bit, there's other plates that are molded in different colors, and I don't know, basically you can kind of change things. So like if you don't want her thighs here to be in black, you can do them in tan. I think there's also a runner to have them in white. I think that's it. And there's, I don't know, there's a lot of options here. So basically most of the colors that are done in like black are also in tan and also in the light pink. So you can kind of pick and choose a little bit while you're building it. And it's really nice if you're just snap building that you don't have to worry too much about color separation. Now just looking at the guide straight away, most of the kit is molded in the proper color, with a few differences. Around the bra area isn't done in black. She's got these little things that stick off of her skirt that aren't colored, and that's only like a partial color thing. It's not like full color. And then another thing that's a little more subtle is all the raised areas around her armor is supposed to be actually white. It's kind of minor things. You can do all this just by detail painting anyway. I mean, it looks fine the way it is, so it's not really even a major thing. And I'm really happy with the kit. It looks really nice just out of box. I doubt I'm going to paint it because I don't know, Koto kits are a little finicky sometimes when it comes to assembly and disassembly. I'm just not saying I won't, I just doubt I will. So, let's get on to the review. I'm going to review her in her standard form, and then I'll mess with weapons and articulation, all that. Or, well, not articulation, I'm doing that now. Weapons and accessories. So, her head is on like a peg, and then there's a ball joint down here and a ball joint up here, and you can kind of move that a lot. Sometimes her head likes to pop up, which isn't very good, but it's on a double ball joint. It looks really good. You get a full 360. You got to move her ponytail a little bit to get that to do that. I also don't think I have the ball joint in correctly. That's why it's looking the way that it does right now. I'll mess with that later. But her hair here is on a peg, so you can kind of, it's on a ball joint, sorry. So you can rotate it a little bit, not a lot, it pops out. But this is on a peg, you can move that up and down. Shoulders are on these ball joints with pegs. The pegs are a little difficult thanks to Kotobukiya's engineering. So just be careful with that. And again, this is a Kotobukiya kit, so the curse is strong. Elbows are single jointed, but you get a very impressive bend out of that. There's a joint under the shoulder, I forgot to mention that. And the hands are on ball joints, so you can spin them around and wiggle them and all that good stuff. The chest is on a double joint. If I take her boobs off, you can kind of see it inside here. It's like a ball joint and then a hinge and then another hinge. It's like a weird, like almost triple joint, really. But they want you to arch it back. I'm gonna take these off for now, and then put her chest on so it looks more natural when you assemble it. But using these triple joints or whatever, you can actually get a really nice, more natural looking, natural looking chest poses out of the kit. And this moves up and down as well, so to accommodate for that. The skirt can open up, so if you want to move her around and move her legs and stuff like that, you can wiggle those. These are kind of like freestanding, sort of. They're inside here, so they move with the leg, but the leg moves forward. It moves backwards as far as the skirts will allow. It moves out a little bit, not a whole lot. You get some wiggle there, but there's not a full bend, or sorry, full spin. Not that you'd need it under the thigh. You get a double bend with the knee, but with this you want to be careful because this joint likes to come up first, and it applies pressure to this piece, and then it sends it flying. So be careful with that. I almost lost this in the couch like 3 times when I was building it over at Summer's house. Another life lesson: don't build on the couch. The ankles don't rotate here. They have like a joint in here and then here like this. I guess Bandai owns the patent for that, but you get decent articulation out of it. It's a little different than your standard ankle joints and stuff like that, but you can get good posability out of it. Come on, if I can get her to stand. The feet aren't the best thing in the world, but they're okay. Alright, then we can put her skirt back on. Now, another thing to note is the back piece here. If most people know anything about Phantasy Star Online, typically when you run around in the game, you'll start the game, you'll get a tutorial, and then depending on, I guess, which game it is, you will receive a mag. And those are these little guys right here. They float behind you. Depending on your character class and level and lots of other things, you will have 1 or 2 of these. And I believe I'm also missing them. No, I'm not. And they float behind you, and they provide you support. They boost your stats, and then they also give you like a final attack type deal. So if you want that equipped, it's as simple as pulling this little thing off and plugging the mag in. I'm not going to plug that all the way in because it was a pain to get out. But it's got its own little articulated thing, and it's clear, so you can see it, but you can't really see it. And you don't need to put both arms on if you don't want. I'm just leaving them on for the sake of it. But they move out, and you can move them fully behind. So as much as that'll move. And then this can even, I don't know why, but arch up and down. I don't remember the mags ever needing to do that. I pretty much stayed static behind you. Another thing is these, I don't know what these are. This must be from a newer game that I played. I haven't played Phantasy Star since like the Dreamcast and the GameCube, so you have to forgive me. But I believe this is like a burst thing. And if I can get that to plug in, there we go. It gives her like little wings. So it's kind of cool looking. I like it. Now another thing that this kit comes with in spades, mind you, is hands. You're gonna get, let's see if I can find them all. 2 close fists. You're gonna get 2 expressive hands like I have equipped. You're gonna get 2 other expressive hands. These are a little, less emotive and ooh. You're gonna get trigger fingers or pointer fingers, depending on what you want to do for each hand. And you're going to get kind of like grip hands, if you will, for each hand. And that is just the pre-assembled hands. There's also a ton of hands that are just on runners. And you have to put these together yourself. There's a lot of them. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So you get just as many hands on runners as you do pre-assembled for you. And I've actually done one of these on one of these weapons, and I guess we'll use that to segue into the first weapon. This is some sort of gun, and it opens up like this. You get these little cool blade things popping out. You can pull her hand out super easy. Fold that forward, and she can wield the gun. I'm not going to bother changing her other hand, but you know, you get the idea. And just a side note from experience, the assembled hands, this is one of them here, like to pop apart a little bit. The pegs aren't very small due to the size of the character's hands to begin with, so they come apart really easily. So if you're going to put them on this, I'm going to recommend not doing that. Just paint the other hands up if you're going to paint, and just use these, or use the pre-assembled hands on that. And this will be the next thing I show off, is the Scythe. Again, you just want to pick the hand that you want. In the instructions they tell you to use the pointing hand. I think that looks silly. So we'll go ahead and put the grip hand on, and that looks a lot better. And she holds it pretty good. Again, you can strike a multitude of poses depending on what you want to do with this thing. Now, this is where your hand options are going to be a little, you know, up in the air. You've got this little red pistol, which I wish that they would have molded on its own piece. If they can mold all these hands separately, why can't they mold the gun separately? But it was gated down here and over here, but it was painted on the runner, which, I mean, it's cool. Thanks, Kodo, you're awesome. But when I trim those gates off, you're going to see that nub mark on the bottom. The one on the handle's hidden pretty well. But you know, I'm going to use the pointer finger for this. It kind of gives like a really cool looking, like, you know, I'm gripping it kind of thing. So, really like the way the pistol looks. Really simple, got lots of nice little detail on it. Now, these are probably my least favorite weapons out of the whole pack, and they look cool enough, but they're all molded clear instead of giving me like a clear piece and a thing to peg it into. Again, you know, saving money is usually, like, staying within a price range anyway, is usually the thing for these types of kits. Bandai does it, everybody does it, so I can only complain so much. I have the tools to fix it, so. But you just kind of slide that in, and you get a nice looking sword. So, again, there's two swords. There's like a regular saber and a heavier saber. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to do a couple size comparisons. I don't ever do these, but Felix, or Zubon, if you will, asked me to. And since we're taking requests from Zubon, I figured we'd use something that's technically his. Here's the RG RX-78-2. Standing beside her. She's a little taller. So I'd say it's about, you know, it's taller than the average master grade. I mean, the average high grade. So anything 1/144 scale that's average. So like maybe a you know, Unicorn Destroy mode wouldn't be the best thing to compare it to. And here it is next to the Jesta. I got his legs straight, but you know, he's about a body and a head taller than her. And last but not least, the Grimoire. Grimoire's kind of stubby, so you know, she's a little taller than that. So, that's my review of the 1/12 scale Phantasy Star Online figure. It was really neat to build, really fun, I really enjoyed it. If you like this kind of thing, definitely worth picking up. If you don't really like, you know, if you're kind of nitpicky about details, you don't really want to paint, you know, maybe you want to skip it. But if you can overlook that kind of stuff, it's definitely a cool build, and it's definitely a fun kit. I don't believe they're that expensive. I think like 20 or 30 bucks each before shipping. Depending on where you get them anyway, you can probably get them online for like 100 bucks if you're, you know, gullible and go to eBay or something. But that's my look at it. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Later.